Okay, welcome to this Resident Evil 4 VR tutorial. And in this, we're going to talk about some things I've learned about playing this game that might help you out. First, what we're going to do is, first thing I want to talk about is tunnel vision. Yes, that is the default. Now, you notice when I'm running here, sort of get this black, what I like to call tunnel. I found that really annoying. However, that's the default. And if you want to keep that on, that's fine. If you have problems, I think the reason they did this was for people that are new to VR and they might get motion sickness. I'm sure that's what it was. But if you want to disable it, real simple. You hit the X button. That will bring up your menu. And what you want to do is go to Options. Then you want to go to Comfort Movement. You want to go down here, and there's something called tunneling. There you go. You can just simply turn that off, accept changes, and hit the X button again. And look, now I'm moving around. It is gone. So that's the very first thing I wanted to talk about. Okay. Second thing we're going to talk about is fighting, which is obviously important. Now, you have your pistol. That's going to be your primary weapon for a long time. You can reload it down here. You have your rounds, you put it in the gun, reload it. You also have a knife. Now, when you're facing, I guess we would call them zombies, we're going to talk about kind of like what I like to call a three-step process for killing. Here we go. So I'm going to avoid this guy. He's going to be throwing axes. And that's another thing. You want to sort of let him, well, he's running at us. So what I wanted to say, it's a three-step process. You want to stun. If you're playing easy mode, you really don't have to conserve ammo. But if you are playing normal mode, you got to think about ammo. So I could just sit here and blow this guy away for a while. You know, we are trying to get some headshots. You know, but that was a lot of ammo, waste of ammo. That's what I call waste of ammo. Now, what I like to do is kind of the stun, kick, knife. So first you got to stun them, but after you stun them, you can run up. It'll give you the option to kick them. I'm going to show you that right now. So I'm going to stun this guy. Boom. Got the option to kick him. Now he's knocked to the ground. You pull out the knife and you stab him. And look at that. That only took one bullet as opposed to 5 or 6. So that is really the key thing I want to talk about early on, is you want to try to conserve your ammo. You don't want to just use, especially if you have one-on-one situations. Now, there might be situations where you got 4 or 5 zombies. You're going to have to obviously use some more ammo. But that, if it's one-on-one, use that method I just showed you. So think about that. Stun, run up to him while he's stunned, kick him, and then you knife him to death before he gets back up. If he gets back up, you have to move away and shoot him again. Okay, while we have these eggs here, by the way, I want to show you this. These are very useful to store. And if you find chickens, collect these guys up. Especially the brown, actually, chicken, I think it gives you more. So that's really the key. So remember, if you see eggs, pick them up, because you don't want, let's go back to the inventory. I want to show you this. You don't want to have to use your first aid spray, which I'm going to put in this spot right here. Want to try to only use this if you really need it. But these eggs are very useful. And I'm actually going to take some damage and show you something here in a minute. And you can see, again, pick these up because they are really good so that you don't have to use your heavy healing supplies. All right, so now I want to show you how to fight if you have no ammo. And the key is to make these guys miss, then attack. So we're not going to shoot this guy or stun him. We're just going to... So see how he just swung? He's vulnerable for a little bit. Now we're going to do this again. Okay, he swung. Now I can come up and hit him a couple times, and then back away. Okay, he did it again. And there, we just killed him without having to use any bullets. So that's one way, if you're in trouble or you're low on ammo, you can actually kill them by letting them just dodging their attack. We'll do it again. It's actually simple, but you have to be patient. You have to back away because you're not going to kill him. He's going to tee up again. Now there, just killed him just with the knife. How nice is that? Pretty nice. Okay, so another thing I want to talk about, the two main items to loot in this game are barrels right here. So you just hit that with a knife, and there we got some extra ammo. We're picking up a lot of ammo. Oh, so we got an axe thrower. Same thing, by the way, with this guy. Watch. He's gonna... Well, that's actually pretty good. I was able to knock him down on the ground, and you can kill him without any fight. So again, you have to search all these areas, especially if you're playing normal mode. You want to find all the barrels and crates. Look, there's one right there. And a lot of the times these things are hidden. Like, you know, you go back and see, here we got treasure. Treasure gives you money. It allows you to buy things from the shop. So just keep that in mind. Search these areas all over the place. Don't let anything, don't miss anything. Now, one other thing while we're here, I want to show you. You'll see things. Don't forget to look up in the trees. Make sure you check the trees. Now, there's nests in the trees. You'll also see things like these medallions. Now, if you get enough of these, they give you a reward. So make sure you keep an eye, you know, on the trees. Don't forget to, there's also nests. I'll show you that later on, but you'll see nests, and those have little goodies too. They'll drop ammo, all sorts of things. Okay, now we're going to talk about another very important subject, the store merchant. Yes, and by the way, I just want to let you know, don't be worried. You know, if you run into the first guy and you can't afford something, you can always run back to him, by the way. That's one point I want to make. If there's something in there you see that you like and the next merchant you run into doesn't have that, you can always run all the way back once you have the money to purchase whatever it is you want to purchase and come back and get it. So I want to make that point very quickly. The other thing is, let's go ahead and open this up. Want to talk about some of the things you can do here. Now, first thing you can do is sell.
What are you selling?
Really don't like to sell anything. I find all the items useful. I will tell you that the flash grenades, I don't really use those, so I do sell those if I have those. But like a grenade, I wouldn't sell that. Ammo, never sell. I never sell any ammo because obviously you need that. So not something you're going to really sell. And you shouldn't sell any herbs either because you need all those herbs. And we're going to talk about herbs in a minute. So buying.
What are you buying?
Okay, so you can see here, there's various things he's selling. Probably the most important one is the first upgrade I like to do is the case, making your case bigger. That is for your inventory. You can carry, if you can carry more things, obviously you're not going to have to discard anything. It's going to make you more powerful. You can carry more guns, more ammo. So this is really critical, getting that case upgraded. I don't usually buy treasure maps, but you may buy a weapon.
Stranger?
You know, if you think you need a rifle, you can buy that. Pretty simple. You just pick this up, put it in your slot, and then hit buy. We're not going to do that here, but that's how you do it. So, you know, he's selling weapons. You just have to see what he's getting. I think the TMP is the first good weapon to buy. You'll eventually find shotguns, but TMP, that's a good one to buy because you'll get a lot of TMP rounds. And that's the other point I want to make. If you're getting drops like certain rounds, but you don't have the gun for it, it's not a lot of use. So you want to make sure you have at least, I like to have a handgun, shotgun, rifle, and TMP. But you know, you can play that by ear. But again, you want to make sure that you're not wasting rounds. So that's one thing I want to point out. The other thing I want to point out is the tune-up.
What are you buying?
Very important. So I can take this pistol here, put it down in here. It's going to tell me the things I can upgrade. I've got enough to upgrade the firepower. I like to upgrade the pistol because you find more 9mm rounds than anything in the game. So you're going to use the pistol a lot. I think it's a good thing to upgrade it.
Is that all, stranger?
You hit tune up.
Thank you.
And there you go. Now we've got an upgraded pistol. So don't forget upgrades. Very important to use. So just keep that in mind. So that's the merchant. Again, sometimes you'll find, I mean, it's like anything. You'll find store merchants selling things you want and things you don't want. So don't be afraid to run back if you have to the merchant. If you don't have the money, come back a later time.
Come back
and get what you need to get. Now, this is a prime example. By the way, I want to bring this up as an interesting point right here. Now, this map leads right out that door. Basically, that's where you're going. And when I first encountered this merchant, I sort of came back later on and took a look around here. And here's a prime example of why you've got to search the whole map. There were two barrels here. And that led to some treasure and a very important herb, the red herb. So just keep that in mind. It's another point I want to make. Make sure you search every nook and cranny of the board, because you'll find hidden barrels and stuff that you might not have thought. So, okay, let's see. There's a barrel right there. See? So that's the point I'm making. Make sure you find those barrels. And here I got another green herb, one of the most important herbs in the game. So just important for you to know that. Getting a little cutscene here. Okay, now we're going to talk about herbs. Perhaps the most important thing other than weapon management in the game. Herbs provide a couple things. Now, one thing I want to point out, when you're in your inventory, you can pick this up, and if you've got an Oculus Quest, and I think it is only available on the Oculus Quest, you hit the B, you can examine it. And it'll tell you here, herb that restores partial health. Now, here's the thing that you can do, which is really, really cool. You can mix these herbs. Now, you can mix all three, or you can mix a green with a yellow and a green with a red. I don't think you can, well, I guess you can mix, you can mix the yellow and the red, but I don't recommend that. Here's what I recommend you do. You first want to mix the green with the yellow, because that is going to increase your health, maximum health. Very important. Now, the red and the green together will heal you all the way up. That gets more important, by the way, as your maximum health increases. So you actually want to save, I think, early on. You don't want to use your red herbs. You want to combine the green herb with the yellow herb. And that's what we're going to do. So we got this little vial. Now, this is a little strange. You can only use this inside your inventory. So you take it, you pick it up with the grip, highlight it over your guy, and you can see, look, we're now going up. You can see we're going to go up a little bit. But another thing I wanted to point out, if you ever get hurt and you're in the heat of battle, you can actually heal yourself just by hitting the inventory. They're not attacking you. So it's a good way to not have to like fumble around and try to get the first aid, aid spray going. You just hit the inventory and everything stops. And what you can do is give yourself some eggs, heal yourself up. And it works, but you can only use eggs and these vials. You can't use, I don't believe you can use the first aid spray in here. But, really the first aid spray is for when you're in the heat of a battle. You want to kind of save that if you can. That's why we just use up the eggs. Now I'm going to show you, we're going to use this, we're going to increase the health. Look, it just increases a little bit, but that can make all the difference. We just increased it a little bit. So now we're a little bit tougher. So again, by the way, these themselves will also heal you as well. These herbs. You can actually consume these by themselves. But I wouldn't do that. I would try only as like a last resort. Use your eggs first, but I always try to save these because you want to mix these. So let's go ahead and let's get one of these mixed up, and we will save that for later in case we're ever really low. This will increase the maximum health. Again, you want to save these too, though. You really want to use the eggs and other means first before you ever use this. This is like, especially when you get like your maximum health a lot higher, this becomes much, much more valuable. So that's how you use herbs. Very, very important that you manage these properly. And I think I just showed you how to do that. Okay, let's return to some battle tactics. Now, one thing that can be very useful, which I sort of figured out later on, is kicking doors. Because if you kick a door and there's a zombie on the other side, you're pretty much going to do some major damage to him. So this is especially useful if you have to fight several zombies. Just retreat behind the door and let the door do some damage. So we're going to show you that right here. I'm not going to even talk. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to kind of show you, I think. Okay. Now watch this. I'm going to kick this. Look, I just smashed him. Didn't have to fight or anything. Here we just smashed him again. So this is a very useful, never be afraid to sort of retreat and fight. And look, now I got hit there, but there was a lot of zombies here. And I'm doing quite a bit of damage just kicking this door. I mean, it's very useful, actually. And this would have been a really difficult fight, and it was really easy because I just was mauling them with the door. So just keep in mind, oh gosh, there's more of them. See, there's a ton of them. Now, if I was playing this, I would have been a little bit more careful. But so you can see how, always, and that's the other thing. When you're fighting several zombies, don't be afraid to run. If you got to run like I just did, do that. Get back to a safe area. You can always fight another day. but don't just stay static. That's an you saw if I would have just stayed there and tried to fight those guys, they probably would grab me and done some serious damage. So again, don't be afraid to retreat. Don't be afraid to use doors. It really helps kicking in doors. You can do a whole lot of damage. Okay, that's it. Well, let's take out this final guy here. Let's do a kick. Oh, was that fun? We'll knife him. Well, he's already dead. So again, I think I just have a couple more things I want to show you, and then we'll end this tutorial. Okay, the final thing I want to talk about are traps. And there's two main traps in the game. If I can get my gun here. Now, you have a couple options here. One is you can shoot them. That's definitely good for the dynamite, the trigger ones. You shoot them, and that's that. But the other one you got to watch out for, and these can actually sneak up. You always got to keep an eye on the ground because these are sometimes like hidden in weeds and stuff, and they can do a lot of damage. Now, you have two options here. The worst option is to shoot them. Now, if you have some zombies around, you don't have time to play around, shooting them's the best option. But if you got time, and usually you do, you can actually just do it with a knife without wasting any ammunition. You just come up with a knife, and that's it. It's disabled. I mean, that easy. I recommend that you disable all traps that you see because actually, if you come back this way and there's a good chance you forget about it, you'll go right over it. So if you see them, I think you should just disable them. And that's really, to me, that's just good operating procedure. Now I don't have to worry about these for the rest of the game. So, yeah, and remember, keep in mind, keep checking these trees. There's none here, but you will see the nest. In fact, you know what? I'm going to show you. We're going to do a little bit. Well, no, I'm not going to show it to you. But basically, just keep it. You'll see the nest. You can shoot it. They'll usually be in these types of trees right here. You'll see them. And though there's a lot of stuff that drops out of there, like mainly ammunition, but some really good ammunition like TMP rounds and stuff like that. So always check these trees for medallions and stuff like that. And actually, I think there's a medallion over here. Yeah, so you can go ahead. I think you can just knife this one. Or no, we can shoot it. You know, I don't know. No, that's not a medallion, so a stopwatch or something. You pick it up, and we've got it. Okay, well, that is the end of this tutorial. I hope this helped, and thanks for watching.